Hey there YouTube, I'm Ikitsu, this is the Ikitsu Times. Welcome to my channel, welcome to a little bit of Sins of the Solar Empire 2. So we're going to be talking about all three of the pirate ships in one video here, and we're going to go over them a little bit quickly. So yeah, as Tech Primacy, you're capable of getting the pirate ships that the generic pirate neutral faction normally gets access to. They're quite powerful, but they don't scale necessarily super well. But the time that you can get them at, they're actually really, really good. So we're going to start off with the Pirate Rogue. This is your sort of like most basic one. This is built off of the Cobalt Light Frigate chassis, and you can sort of see the similarities there, but it's clearly been overtuned. Durability 150, so it's 50 higher than the Cobalt. Got 805 armor points and 585 hull points. For guns, you're looking at 3 light autocannons at 6, 4, and 4 for a total of 14 damage per second at 100 pierce. This is notably not been upgraded like the regular Cobalt, so while you do have really good ability to chop through enemy frigates, you don't have that same ability to go after the same targets that you would in a Cobalt necessarily, except for if you think about the fact that you're doing a total of about 18 damage with this thing, with some of that being reduced, you can actually do close to 9 damage per second to targets that you're not supposed to be able to hit at the ideal amount. That's about the same damage that you're getting out of a Cobalt Light Frigate anyway. So don't feel afraid to use these guys to hunt down a 200 hit point light cruiser. They'll do about as well into those as a Cobalt, even though they lack the pierce to do that because their base damage is just so much better. They've also got 2-point defense cannons. I am including that there. They've got 0 pierce and they've got 2 damage per second. That's nice to have. It's not like a dedicated point defense ship, though. It's just good to have that around, just so that you can swat down a couple missiles, swat down a couple enemy fighters as they sort of show up there. I wouldn't say that this is a replacement for the Guard of Flak frigate, but if you do have a lot of these, you don't have to worry about point defense while still maintaining a fairly high offensive capability. For hidden statistics here, we're looking at 50 armor strength and 900 maximum speed. So they are a bit slower. They're also, still pretty tough, though. This ship, notably, does not gain shields. As you can see here, we've researched the frigate shield refit, and none of the pirate ships get shields as far as I understand it, because they're not actually listed under the things that get shields there. So you're stuck at the amount of hit points that you've sort of got here. So we've got over here these Cobalt Light Frigates. They actually end up more durable than the pirate ships do by a little bit. So do keep that in mind. Although the armor points being so much higher does help. The higher durability also helps. They're not scaling as well without those shields, though. I think that the shields would have made them like really, really good into the later game there.
What word from the
Pirate Pillager back here. This is actually a siege frigate. The difference is that it does have a 3 damage per second, 100 pierce light autocannon. I don't actually like these that much. If I was going to chuck something, this would probably be the first to go. Bombarding planets is still pretty useful under a lot of circumstances, so having them, being able to get a bunch of them without having to research it and without having to build a bunch with your hard-earned cash, that does help, but they're definitely the weak point of calling in pirates. The way that you get them is actually through tech. There's 2 things you can do. You can either get the Gang of Freebooters, which is a single-use tech that you have to research if you want to get the other one. Once you've done that, you just get all of these different pirate ships here, and it's sort of like a slightly randomized amount. And then you also can get the Pirate Mercenary base after that, which is what you actually want to get. And whenever you sort of activate this once every 6 minutes, it creates 100 supply of Pirate Rogues, Pirate Pillagers, and Pirate Corsairs. This is how you're going to actually get these guys. If you have like several asteroids that you can build pirate bases on, you can actually spawn in quite a hefty number of pirates very, very quickly every 6 minutes. Making it so that you can sort of recruit them. The problem is that you will get Pirate Pillagers, you will get like Pirate Rogues, and you will get Pirate Corsairs. You can't choose what you're getting, really. So you kind of have to want all 3 of them. For other statistics for this guy, I don't do the siege ships. They're all kind of similar to one another. You can use this thing in combat, but 3 damage per second with 100 pierce is not good enough for it to really be a true combat ship. So we'll sort of gloss over its stats there.
The galaxy's
now, this
Corsairs.
is the Pirate Corsair. This is based on the Harka, and it is vastly better than the Harka. 400 durability, 1,360 armor points, 1,180 hull points. Again, we're lacking in durability compared to the Harka once we've got those shields, but we're a little bit ahead of it otherwise. But this thing has got 2 medium autocannons at 5 damage per second at 200 pierce. This, I think, actually uses like guns that are from pre-patch. I don't know if the pirate ships got patched with the upgrade that upgraded like Cobalts and Harkas and all those other things. Still, what's important is not the medium autocannons. It's the 2 medium missiles there. You got 1 medium missile, 1 medium missile. I don't know why it doesn't just say 2 times medium missile. For a total of 16.6 damage per second at 400 pierce. That's really good pierce and really good damage, just the base number on there. And then you've also got an additional light autocannon at 8 damage per second with 100 pierce. The combination of things on here means that this thing like fights really well into Harkas. Its damage spikes up really high into lighter frigates. It's still capable of punching into capitals. It's all around a very, very, very good ship. I think it's one of the more deadly ones that are sort of out there. Now, the problem is that you are only firing from 2 missile slots, which does mean that it's fairly easy to PD a Pirate Corsair. And if you are PDing it, you're restricting its targets that it can go after down to just lighter ships. But an interesting thing about the Pirate Corsair in the tech versus tech matchup is the medium autocannons and the light autocannon shred through at 18 damage per second Guard of Flak frigates really effectively. So you could have a bunch of Pirate Corsairs, you could go after the Guard of Flak frigates with those, obliterate them really quickly. The only thing that your opponent can really go after your Pirate Corsairs with is either Caleb's, which don't have that much damage per second, or they could go after them with the Javelus, which has enough damage per second to put these down quickly. But you're automatically getting a bunch of these Pirate Rogues that have the point defense and are also really, really good at killing Caleb's. Caleb's, and they're also really good at killing the Guard of Flak frigates. So that combination of those things means that, like, it's actually really hard to kill the Pirate Corsairs in the tech versus tech matchup while still swatting down their missiles. You kind of have to commit to either swatting down their missiles or killing the Pirate Corsairs, and you can't easily do both. It's kind of fantastic in that sort of sense there. Although this does mean that in that situation, the Pirate Corsairs are going after your Guard of Flak frigates instead of killing your capitals, so it's a worthy sacrifice, honestly. For hidden statistics, we're looking at an 80 armor strength, which is a bit lower, I believe, than the Harka. Might be about the same, I can't remember. 750 maximum speed. It's still very high armor regardless. So this is actually a really, really good ship. I do think that this is like the highlight. If you were capable of just choosing what you could get, you would want to just have Pirate Corsairs. That's what you would sort of go for. Over the averages, like, it's actually pretty cost efficient to get these fleets. The 100 supply version that you can get later on repeat every 6 minutes from the Pirate Mercenary base, it's 5,000 credits. That's pretty inexpensive for tech. It's pretty easy for them to get 5,000 credits just through trade and stuff like that. So, yeah, being able to sort of go for like a pure credit economy as well also is quite a nice thing to be able to do there. So, yeah, we're just going to do something real quick here, and then we're going to show something. But we're going to just go ahead real quick here and get military-grade rounds. And once we've got that... Oh, the heck was that? I think the scout just wandered into the system. It's fine. Complete. Alright, so as we can see, we have got those upgrades. And the reason that that one works, I suspect, is because, like, they're still using autocannons. The reason it doesn't give them the shields is that, like, I guess it doesn't give, like, every ship in class that automatically, because the classes are arbitrary and don't really mean anything. Or it could be that the class is tied to, like, what building they come out of, and these don't come out of a building. I'm not entirely sure why it is that they get some upgrades but not others. If we were to get the missile upgrade as well, or we could actually let's get advanced metallurgy and then we'll get the refined missile avionics. So we're going to show that these upgrades also work, which does mean these armor points are skewed, but they're going to be automatically skewed when you get these guys anyway, because you have to get those 10 tiers to get that. So yeah, we're up to 90 armor strength, these guys, up to 60 on these guys, so those upgrades are working. You know, it's just the shields upgrade doesn't work, and I'm not 100% why that is. I don't know if that's oversight. It could be intentional. Who knows? Regardless, though, that is sort of how these things work. So they're not like completely useless as far as scaling goes. Like, we're still going to see that refined missile avionics coming in. We're going to see that boosted damage to these missiles immediately up to 9.2. So we are going to continue getting more and more damage out of these guys. The problem is that we're going to be fragile. If you're relying on pirates once you're at that sort of like later tech tier, where you would be normally getting access to like the cruiser shield refit, these guys fall behind really hard in terms of how much damage they can take compared to the rest of your fleet. You're dealing like double the damage though, so it might very well be worth going for a large pirate fleet. Now, I think one of the ways that you could use this with tech primacy is using your like Harkas and stuff like that and having them pushed into the front. Because the pirate corsair looks very similar to the Harka, your opponent might not necessarily immediately notice that they're getting attacked by pirate corsairs, in which case they're going to be wasting their damage per second against the Harkas and wondering why their fleet's melting. Same thing for the pirate rogues. They might not really fully comprehend that they're getting attacked by pirate rogues. They might think that they're just getting attacked by all Cobalt Light Frigates, and you've got your Cobalt Light Frigates in a clump that's ahead of them. So you can definitely do some mind games with these guys if your opponent's not really paying attention, but if you know you're up against tech primacy, one thing that you should be looking out for is if you're up against those sort of pirate ships, you can really sort of like tell there is a difference if you look closely, but you can really see that it's going to be tricky for a lot of players. Like that looks a lot like a Harka, that looks a lot like a Cobalt Light Frigate. Even when they're sort of side by side, you could easily at a glance not notice that there's a difference between the two. So it's definitely not like super easy to notice that you're fighting into these guys. If you're paying attention to other things, you're doing other things. So I think that adds an interesting dynamic to the fact that they're less tanky but higher damage. Still though, that's going to be our video for today. Hope you found this one enjoyable, and of course as always, hope to see you guys all next time.